So, last part I ended off getting the core functionality working, so the download part and then applying the metadata. Now, there are still a few problems. For example, I'm going to run this thing, and I'm not going to enter in a link, so I'm just going to go done. And it kind of crashes. Now, what I want to do is make it so that the program will not crash if something goes wrong with the download process. So, for this, I'm going to use a try except statement, and I'm going to put it right here when the user types in done. Next, I'm going to move the entire download part into the try section. So let's see where it starts. It starts here, well, here, and then it goes all the way down to clear the links. So I'm going to cut this and then move this into the try section here. Okay, so now I have a problem, and that's probably indenting. So I'm going to select everything here, and then, where is it? Yeah. Indent it in, and here we are. And I forgot one thing, which is this message here. So I'm going to move this all the way to here. So now let's see if this works. I'm going to run this, and I'm going to go download, and I'm going to go done. It did not crash, so the error handling worked. But does it still actually download? So I'm going to take this link, and then enter it in. Okay, and then I'm going to take a second link and then enter it in. And I'm going to go done. And I can see it's downloading. I should see those two files in the download files, in the downloaded files, and 2 and 1. So yeah, here we are, and these were created 1 minute ago, so these are the correct ones. Okay, so that is good. Now, just to make sure that the exception works, I'm going to print a message if an error happens. So here it is. Now, let's see what happens when I run this thing. I already know that the download function works, so I'm going to go download and done. And I see download failed. That's good. Alright, so what could possibly go wrong with the download process? So, the download starts here. So, what happens if there is nothing to download? That would cause an error. So basically, I can only download if there is at least one link that has been entered. So in other words, if the length of the list containing the links that are to be downloaded is greater than 0. And I can simply add that as a condition right here. So I'm going to do just that. I also want to display an error message saying that you must enter one link at least. So I'm going to find out where the scope of this if ends, following this line here. right here, okay. So I'm going to put in an else statement. So if the number of links entered is, well, less than 1, then I want to print out a message to the terminal, and that will be this. So I'm going to run this thing and let's see what happens. I'm going to go download and I'm going to go done. So I entered no links. I see you must enter at least 1 link. So that worked out just fine. Now what if the link I enter is invalid? So I'm going to go enter in this, which is not a link. Yes, I do, and then I'm gonna go done. And would you look at that? Download failed, but the program is still running. So that is good. Now, the process of applying the metadata relies on the fact that the number of MP3 files in the working directory matches up with the number of links which were inserted. This means that there can't be any MP3 files in the working directory. So in other words, the download cannot proceed if there are any MP3 files in the current working directory. So what I have to do now is basically, first off, check how many MP3 files there are in the working directory. Now I have gotten a list of all the files which were in the current directory before, so that's what I'm going to start with. Now what I need is some way to mark whether or not there are any MP3 files in the current directory. So I'm just going to make a variable which is true or false to hold this information. And of course the download cannot happen if there are any MP3 files in the current working directory. So I need a third condition for this if here. And that condition will be this, which is if this here, which is if there are any MP3 files in the working directory, is equal to true. So now I have to check if there are any files of MP3 extension in the working directory. So I can just loop through the list of files in the working directory, which is this. And I've done this before also. So within this loop, what I want to do is count the number of files which have the extension of MP3. So first I need a variable to hold the number of MP3 files. Now that I have this, I have to, for each file in this list of files, I have to get the file extension. So like before, the first thing that I need is the path of that file. Now that I have the file path, I need to separate the file name from the file extension, which I've also done before. Now, I have to check if the file extension is MP3. So, I've made an if statement here, and it just checks if the file extension is equal to MP3, which is this variable. Now, if the file extension is MP3, what I want to do is increment this here, the number of MP3 files, up by 1. And I'm going to do that just by taking its current value and then adding 1 to it. After this loop, what I want to do is check if the number of MP3 files is greater than 1. And if it is greater than 1, then this here, or hold on a minute, no. what I want to do is check whether or not the number of MP3 files is equal to 0. And if it is equal to 0, then I'm going to change this here to the variable which I've highlighted to true. So that's what I'm going to do. Now for this, a simple if statement would work just fine. So, if the number of MP3 files is equal to exactly 0, then MP3 files exist in the working directory is equal to true. Now at this point I've realized that I've kind of named it in a confusing way. This should be files do not exist. So I'm going to change this and this. Okay, so that's better. So I'm going to print a message to the terminal if there is not 0 MP3 files in the working directory. So in other words, if the number of MP3 files does not equal 0, then I'm going to show this message. So let's see if it works. I am going to run this thing, and there is an MP3 file here. So hold on a minute. Yep, I'm going to run this thing, download, and I'm going to go done. Download cannot commence if there are MP3 files in the working directory, and there is one. So if I remove this, then I go done again, and I don't see that error message. So that worked out just fine. Now, what happens when I enter in the same link more than once? So I'm going to take this link here and then enter it in, and then I'm going to enter in this link again, and I'm going to go done. Well, let's see what files exist, and hold on a minute. Let's remove this. So okay, let's try that again. And the same link again. Okay, now here we are. Well, there's only one MP3 file here, even though I had clearly entered 2. So it didn't crash or error out, except there should have been 2 MP3 files here. So that's kind of a problem. So to prevent this from happening and being a problem, what I basically have to do is make sure that the link that the user has entered has not already been entered. So I'm going to go up to where the links are entered. So if here we are, if confirm input is equal to yes, and here I'm going to check if the link which the user wants to enter already exists. So to do this, I'm going to first make a variable to hold the status of whether or not the link already exists. Now I'm going to loop through the list of links if the list of links is not empty. So here I made a mistake. What I've just done does not work after the first input, but don't worry, I fix it later. For now, just do this because you need something here. Alright, so now that I've checked for the duplicate, what I want to do is only append the metadata and the link if there are no duplicates. So in other words, if link already exists is equal to false, meaning that there is no duplicate, then I want to append all the stuff that the user has entered. And if this here is true, meaning that there is a duplicate link, then I'm going to print out a message to the terminal saying there is a duplicate link and, don't do that. So let's see what happens. I'm going to go download. Now I'm going to enter in this link and enter in something, and this should work. Okay, well, this error message here is in the wrong place, but that's fine. Okay, now let's enter in this same link again. Link cannot be added. Link already exists. So that works. Sort of. Well, for now anyways. So I think that might be all the safeguards that I have to put in. Before I finish this off, I'm going to move this error message to the place where it's supposed to go. So, where was it? Here we are. You must enter at least one link. Now, which scope is this part of? I'm going to follow this line where the mouse is. Okay. Yep, okay. It's part of this scope here. So I'm going to move it. Actually, instead, I'm going to change this from an else, which catches all other conditions, to an else if. And in Python, an else if is this. And otherwise, if specifically, the length of the list of links to download is less than or equal to 0, which means that the list is empty, then I want to show this message. So save it, and then now I'm gonna go download. I'm gonna go done. You must enter at least one link, because right now there's, nothing. So that worked out just fine. Now I'm gonna enter in the same link twice. So 111, yes I do. And I don't see this here message in the terminal, so that's good. And I enter in this link again, 222, yes I do. Link cannot be added, the link already exists. Great. And now let's enter in an actual unique link, like this. And just so I can keep track of what I've entered in, I'm gonna call the title 3, 3 and 3. Yes, I do. Hold on a minute. Nope, that was the same link, wasn't it? Okay, my bad. Okay, 3, 3 and 3. Hold on a minute. So, I've entered in a different link, but I still see this error message saying that the link already exists. Now that is because if I go up here, where was it? Yeah, here. There's a loop that I don't need and some other mistakes too. So, I made a mistake before, that's alright. So, I already have the link that I want to input. which was this, the thing which I've highlighted. So I don't actually need this inner loop, because what I was doing was I was checking for the presence of all duplicates. So then, if a link already had been inserted, then there would be a duplicate. So, kind of a similar idea, but not really what I wanted. Now, here's what I'm going to do. The user input link was this thing here. So I'm going to loop once through the list of links to download. And then if link is equal to the link that the user has entered, I should make that an if. Here we are. And double equal sign. Now, if the link which I'm iterating through is equal to the link that the user wants to input, then I'm going to make link already exists equals to true. So, my bad, I made that mistake, but that should fix it. Okay, now let's see if that did it. I'm going to go download. Hold on a minute. First, though, I'm going to duplicate this tab and go here so I have two links anyways. So, enter in this link, 1, 1, and 1. It is correct. Excellent. Enter in this again, 1, 1, and 1. Link already exists, as I would expect. Now, if I enter in a unique link, I should not see that error message. Let's call this 2, 2, and 2. And I don't see that error message. Excellent. Okay. So now let's again try all of this together. So I go download, and I don't enter in anything. You must enter at least one link. Great. I enter in a link which is not valid. I don't care about this stuff. Yes, I do. Error here, but the program is still running. Well, I don't have any MP3 files, so I can't test that part yet. Anyways, let's check the repeat check, the duplicates. So, the first link I'm entering in is this. I'm going to call it 1, 1, and 1. This is the first track. Great. Now, I'm going to enter in this link again. Okay, so call it 2, 2, and 2. Yes, I do. Link cannot be added, already exists. And this shall be link number 3. 3, 3, and 3. Yes, I do. Now I can tell right away this is not going to work because this is not a link, but yep. But anyways, yeah, download failed. So that's good. And now the lists should be empty, so I can actually properly test this. Okay. So, yeah, here we are. Download. Okay, 1, 1, and 1. Yes, I enter this again. Whoops, I enter in the same link again. 2, 2, and 2. Can't do it. It already exists. I enter in a new link, a unique link. And 3, 3, and 3, this is the third link. And I see 1 and 3 and 2 links. Excellent. I go done. And I should be seeing 1 and 3. That's good. So I'm going to copy it, move this over to the working directory, remove this. Okay, I'm gonna go done, because now I have an MP3 file in the working directory. It should not work. Download cannot commence blah 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 MP3 file in the working directory. That worked. Remove this. I go done. And that error's gone. Wait, hold on a minute. Yeah, and that error's gone. And you must enter at least 1 link. So, okay, that's good. That also means that the list has cleared. So let's just enter in 1 link this time. So 1, 1, 1, yes I do, and done. And if I go here, I see 1. So that worked. Now that should be all the safeguards that I need. So that's it, and this thing is done for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was useful. If you want to see more interesting projects, then like this video and subscribe to my channel. And again, thanks for watching.